Pokemon Crystal Legacy version 1.2 just released as the game's first massive update. And today we're going to cover the 17 new features that have been added. I'm also doing a giveaway for a physical copy of Pokemon Crystal Legacy. There's a lot of really important information here, so please just watch the full video, subscribe, and I'll explain the giveaway at the end. Now, the first feature, which I'm personally most excited about, is the introduction of a challenge mode we're calling Crystal Legacy Hard. We're really proud of the teams we've constructed in this ROM hack, so I didn't want to alter them and go against the whole point of the project. Hard mode keeps all teams the same, but adds typical hardcore rules on top of the game. So at the start of a new game, you'll be prompted to choose normal or hard. If you choose hard, first, all your battles will be in set mode. This means that when you faint an enemy Pokemon, you don't get a free and debatably unfair switch into your next Pokemon. The next component is that you are not allowed to use items in battle. It's quite easy to beat any Pokemon game if you spam items, so this simply removes one of the cheesier ways to play the game. And lastly, your Pokemon's level will cap at upcoming gym leaders. Since Faulkner's strongest Pokemon is level 10, this means your Pokemon's level will not go any higher than that. Together, set mode, no items, and level caps are a pretty standard set of rules that make for a very fun challenge. When beaten, your Hall of Fame card will say Legacy Hard as proof of your accomplishment. Now, 1.2 has also done a massive overhaul to the Battle Tower. My playtesters have constructed each level of trainers from 10 through 100 to each have a unique theme. Level 40 is status, level 50 is wacky sets, 70 is baton pass, 80 is the best of Kanto, 90 is the best of Johto, and 100 is legendaries and the other best of the best. Overall, the whole Battle Tower is a lot more difficult, and at the time of 1.2's launch, nobody has been able to beat the level 100 challenge 7 times in a row. So if you're looking for a more serious challenge, look no further. The Battle Tower has also seen the names of playtesters and iconic Pokemon hackers added in. Some people are also saying that they found the E4 rematch and red fights to be too easy, so we've gone ahead and given these trainers stat experience. Stat experience basically works like this. The trainers you fight throughout a game have a disadvantage over you because your Pokemon have been trained. The Pokemon in the E4 rematch and on Red's team will now actually be on the same footing as yours. Red's Snorlax and Mewtwo have also been given a harder moveset to be even more threatening. Now next, in Blackthorn City, we've actually added a move reminder just next to the move deleter. When you select a Pokemon, it will give you a list of prior level up moves you can choose to reteach your Pokemon for free. And this will be extremely helpful for some Pokemon, like Scizor, whose evolve level isn't set, and this has resulted in players missing a desired move like Metal Claw. The Pokedex has also seen some major upgrades. One of my favorite additions, you can now go here for a complete list of the following: stats, level up moves, TM moves, percentages for encounter on locations, and even evolution details. To put it simply, the Pokedex is now actually useful and you shouldn't have to go outside of the game to get any information. Similarly, we've also added a 4th page to Pokemon Summaries. Summaries now give you information on friendship level as well as a Pokemon's DVs. Also, now as a reward for completing the Unknown Dex, you will be given access to have the hidden power type of your Pokemon shown. It's a small feature, but we're just glad to finally have a reward for completing the Unknown Dex. Now, on the note of happiness, we've reduced egg hatch times for all species by 75% and Togepi by 90%. Egg hatching in general is just super tedious, so this is mostly just a time and quality of life saver. We've also reduced the odd egg hatch times by 80% if non-shiny and 70% if shiny. Now, really important to note, a lot of people have been getting a glitch where multi-hit moves would cause paralysis and flinching. And this has been the most documented glitch we've seen in the game. And we've actually determined that this is a memory error that comes from playing on 32-bit emulators. There's no fix on 32-bit emulators, so if you want to avoid this, just make sure you play on the 64-bit version of an emulator. We've also restored the ability to trade with Gold, Silver, and Crystal along with the Gen 1 games. Keep in mind that trading to Gen 1 is still limited by species and moves that existed in Gen 1. Some Pokemon also seem to be unable to be traded to or from Legacy for an unknown reason, such as Haunter and Gengar. So it's not perfect, but we have done our best to make this possible for you guys. Now, a small detail, but after the Tin Tower cutscene where you encounter Suicune, you also encounter the other 2 legendary beasts, and Raikou and Entei will be added to your Pokedex Wild Area Tracker after this fight. We've also added an actual running animation now. It looks a whole lot smoother, and now your Pokemon will tell you about running at the start of the game. You can also now reset the clock by pressing down and B at the menu screen. There were also a few updates in 1.1 that some of you probably missed, and I just wanted to mention it here. The main fixes in 1.1 came as an immediate response to some need for balancing. There were also some glitches fixed, but most notably, the move cut was reduced from 65 base power to 55. Its accuracy was also reduced to 95, so that now it basically acts as a bug-type Razor Leaf. Now, due to this change, Bug was then left without a later game power move, so we buffed Twin Needle to do 40 damage times 2 for 80 base power total. We also brought back its 20% chance to poison. So basically, rather than both being sort of late game moves, Cut is now your mid game bug move, while Twin Needle is the late game power bug move. Corresponding with this, Caesar and Scyther now learn Twin Needle at 42. Also, for balancing purposes, we made it so Scyther will now learn Swords Dance at 54, while Caesar, who naturally wants more speed, will now get Agility at 54. We actually uploaded a short that covers the full list of moveset changes, but also of significant note, Houndour now learns Bite at level 12, and Misdreavus can now learn Icy Wind via TM. Also, Pinsir and Heracross no longer learn Rock Smash via level up. Some people were kind of thrown off by this, but it's actually a very tiny change. You get access to the Rock Smash TM right after the Sudowoodo encounter, so it just delays it until after Whitney. By doing this, all it changes is that you now can't steamroll Whitney with Heracross. We also made some balance changes to Whitney herself. Because all the trainers around Whitney have gotten stronger, she was feeling comparatively weak to her original self. To fix this, we've given her Clefairy Ice Punch and buffed her Teddy Ursa 1 level in hopes of making her stand out once more. And lastly, since a lot of you nerds were getting folded in Azalea Town, we've made this stretch of the game just slightly easier. Ledian retains coverage against flyers with Thunder Punch, but we just decided to remove its Psybeam instead for Comet Punch. This way, it's only Pineco that will check rock types, so not a major nerf, but just ever so slight. Also, the Azalea Town's rival was just a touch too strong for its purpose, so we reduced the level of the Zubat from 17 down to 15. None of these changes are major, but together they just sort of help to smooth out the difficulty curve. With Whitney just ever so slightly harder and Bugsy brought down, it just feels a lot smoother now. I now have 2 more things to mention. With all the amazing changes we brought in for 1.2, we weren't able to preserve the ability to keep save files compatible. That means if you want to play version 1.2, you will have to start a new game. It's unfortunate, but I really do think it's worth it if you're looking for the most full and complete version of Crystal Legacy. Also wanted to address the Kanto update. Given that both myself, the team, and you have spent so much time over the last 6+ months in Gen 2, we've decided to take a bit of a break from Johto. And instead, we're going to shift our focus into starting work on a brand new Romhack. More specifically, we'll have an announcement for the channel's next project on December 16th. Now finally, if you'd like to get in on that copy of Crystal Legacy, here's what you gotta do. First, subscribe. If you're picked and you're not subscribed to the channel, we will move on to someone who is. Next, comment which game between Gen 1 or Gen 3 you'd like to see us work on next, and tell me something you think could be improved in it. In your suggestion, keep in mind that this next Romhack will still be under the Legacy umbrella, but it could be a Pokemon stats, a trainer's team, or I encourage you to get creative. On top of patch links, there's a video link in the description on how to play the new update as well. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on December 16th.